My name is Kaelor, Agent K07 of the Silken Web. My mission? To save Gore and Earth, to go boldly to the places Vraxis and the Priest King's nest send me.
This is not the Gore you remembers. This is the Gore that remembers you. Agents of the Silken Web.
Blades of Three, A Gorian Tale of the Silken Web. Part 4, The Seal Broken. The tunnels beneath Kurii were older than memory. Lucius's map had led them through the quarry, past the walls the Kurii had broken, through chambers where the air was thick with the dust of centuries. The silver ship waited above, cloaked, hidden, ready to carry them away. Sura and Lyra had wanted to come. Kaelor had forbidden it. Sarakan had agreed. This was not their fight. Tarl led the way, the forgotten home stone in his hand. It was warm, pulsing, guiding him through the darkness. The stone knew where it was going. It had been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Kaelor walked behind him, his knife drawn, his eyes scanning the shadows. Sarakan brought up the rear, his new whip coiled at his hip, his fingers tracing the leather. They had not spoken since they left the ship. There was nothing to say. The tunnel ended at a wall of stone. It was not like the walls they had passed, rough, broken, scarred by the Kurii's digging. This wall was smooth, polished, carved with symbols that Tarl had seen once before in the nest when the old mother was still alive. The symbols pulsed with a faint light, responding to the stone in his hand. "What does it say?" Kaelor asked. Tarl shook his head. "I do not know, but it knows me." He stepped forward. The wall did not move. He pressed the home stone against the largest symbol, the one at the center of the carving. The stone grew warm, hotter, pulsing faster. The symbol began to glow. The wall opened, not with sound, not with grinding stone or breaking rock, with silence. It simply was there, and then it was not. A passage, dark and cool, leading into the heart of the hill. Kaelor let out a breath. The old mother did not want this opened by force. "No," Tarl said. "She wanted it opened by choice." They stepped through. The chamber beyond was small, barely larger than the sleeping furs on the ship. Its walls were smooth, unadorned, carved from the same stone as the door. In the center there was a table. On the table there was a chest. The chest was not large, it was not ornate. It was simple, made of wood that had not rotted in all the centuries it had waited. There was no lock, no seal, no barrier but the stone that had guarded it. Tarl approached. He lifted the lid. Inside there were scrolls. Dozens of them rolled tight, bound with silk ribbons that had not faded. He lifted one, careful, reverent. The silk crumbled at his touch. The scroll unrolled. The writing was old, older than Kurii, older than older than any city on Gore. It was the language of the first scribes, the language the old mother had taught to the first humans she brought to this world. Tarl could not read it. He did not need to. Sura would read it. Sura would know. He rolled the scroll carefully, placed it in his pouch beside the home stone. One by one he gathered the others. Kaelor and Sarakan did not speak. They did not help. This was not their task. This was Tarl's. When the chest was empty, he turned to the others. "We are finished here." Kaelor nodded. Sarakan smiled. They left the chamber. Behind them the wall closed. The stone was silent. The symbols no longer glowed. The archive was empty. Its secret was with them now. Sura unrolled the scrolls on the table in the ship's cabin, her fingers trembling, her eyes wide. Lyra knelt beside her, holding a lantern close. The light flickered across the ancient script, casting shadows that danced like living things. Kaelor stood at the door, watching. Sarakan leaned against the bulkhead, his new whip in his hands. Tarl sat at the viewport, the home stone in his palm, watching the stars. Sura read in silence for a long time. When she looked up, her face was pale. "It is the law," she said. "The old law. The law the priest kings swore when they brought the first humans to Gore. They were to protect us. They were not to destroy our cities. They were not to scatter our peoples. They were not to use us as weapons against each other." Her voice trembled. "The new mother has broken every word." Kaelor's hand went to his knife. "Then we take it to the nest. We show Vraxes. We use it against her." "No," Tarl said. They turned to him. "We take it to Vraxes, we give it to him, and we let him decide." Sarakan's laugh was low, cold. "You trust the spider." "I trust that the spider knows how to spin a web. The mother sent us to die. Vraxes sent us to find the truth. Now we have it. What he does with it is his choice. What we do is ours." He rose from the viewport, the home stone in his hand. "We are not weapons. We are not tools. We are blades, and blades choose where they cut." The silver ship rose through the mists of the Sirdar, its cloaking fields shimmering, its engines silent. The peaks of the mountains fell away beneath them, the nest opening to receive them. They did not announce themselves. They did not ask permission. They simply came. Vraxes was waiting in the main chamber, his 8 legs clicking against the stone, his multifaceted eyes glittering in the golden light. He did not speak. He did not move. He watched. Tarl stepped forward. He held out the scrolls. "The old mother buried the truth. We have brought it to you." Vraxes's mandibles quivered. His eyes fixed on the scrolls, on the silk ribbons that had not faded, on the words that had been hidden for centuries. "The law," he said. His voice was dry, ancient, cold. "The law the priest kings swore. The law the new mother has broken." "She sent us to die," Tarl said. "She sent us to find what she could not. She wanted the archive opened. She wanted the truth buried again. She wanted us to do what she could not. And you have done it. You have opened what she could not. You have found what she could not. You have brought it to me." Vraxes reached out, his forelimbs taking the scrolls, holding them with a care that belied their age. "The mother will not be told. Not yet. The knowledge will be kept. The web will be watched. And when she reaches too far, when she forgets what the old mother swore, the web will tighten. She will be reminded, or she will be replaced." He turned away, his legs clicking against the stone, his form fading into the shadows. "You have done what I asked. You have found what the old mother buried. You have brought it to me. Now you will go. The nest is not safe for you. The mother's eyes are everywhere. You have served the web. You have served it well. But you are not of the nest. You never were." He paused at the edge of the shadows. "Tarl Cabot, your father waits for you. He has waited long enough. Do not make him wait longer." Then he was gone. Tarl found his father in the chambers of the administrator, standing at the window looking out at the city he had rebuilt. Matthew Cabot did not turn when Tarl entered. "You are leaving," he said. It was not a question. "I am leaving." "Will you come back?" Tarl was silent for a long moment. "I do not know." Matthew turned. His face was young, untouched by the centuries, but his eyes were old. They had waited for 500 years. They could wait longer. "You have found what the old mother buried. You have given it to Vraxes. You have done what you came to do." He smiled. It was a thin smile, tired, but there was warmth in it. "You are not the boy I trained. You are not the warrior who left. You are something new, something I did not expect." I am your son, Tarl said. You are my son, Matthew agreed. That is enough. They embraced. It was brief, awkward, the embrace of men who had spent more time apart than together, but it was real. When Tarl stepped back, Matthew held out his hand. In it was the sill-cracked shard of stone, the home stone of the village that was. Take it, Matthew said. It is yours. It was always meant to be yours. Tarl took it. It was warm again, pulsing, alive. Where will you go? Matthew asked. Tarl thought of Kaelor, of Sarakan, of Sura and Lyra waiting in the ship. He thought of the jungles of Schendi, of the plains of the Wagon Peoples, of the cities of Gore that he had never seen. We will find work, he said. There is always work for blades. Matthew nodded. Then go, find your work, find your path, and when you are ready, come back. I will be here. I will always be here. The silver ship rose through the mists at dawn. Below, the towers of Kurii faded into the green hills. Matthew Cabot stood at his window, watching. Sura knelt at Kaelor's feet. He lifted her to her feet. You do not kneel to me, he said. Not any more. She looked at him. Then what do I do? Stand, he said. Stand beside me. She did. Across the cabin, Sarakan tested his new whip against the air. It cracked like thunder. He smiled. Lyra sat beside him, her head on his shoulder. He did not tell her to kneel. He did not tell her to rise. He simply let her be. Tarl stood at the viewport, the home stone in his hand. It was warm. It was pulsing. It was alive. He wrapped it in silk and put it away. He looked at the city fading behind them. He looked at the sky opening before them. He did not know where they would go. He did not know what they would find, but he knew that they would go together. The three blades, the women who chose them, and the web that bound them. The ship rose. The mists closed. Kurii was gone. The silver ship had left the Sirdar behind. Below, the plains of Gore rolled on, green and gold, the river's silver in the fading light. The stars were beginning to show. The cabin was quiet, the engines humming their soft, eternal song. Sura knelt at Kaelor's feet. She had done this 1,000 times before in the wagons of the Wagon Peoples, in the markets of Kurii, in the nest where he had bought her. She had knelt because she was told. She had knelt because she had no choice. She knelt now because she chose. Kaelor looked down at her. The black and red of his tunic, the colors of the torturer's guild, seemed softer in the dim light. His face was still unreadable, but his hand, when it reached for her, was gentle. Stand, he said. She rose. Her eyes met his. There was no fear in them. There was no submission. There was only the thing that had grown between them in the cavern, in the blood and the darkness, when she threw herself between him and the Kurii, and he had looked at her as if seeing her for the first time. You chose to be mine, he said. I chose to be yours. You chose to die for me. She did not answer. She did not need to. He pulled her against him, his hands in her hair, his mouth on hers. She yielded, but it was not submission. It was gift. It was choice. It was the thing she had never given any man because no man had ever asked. His hands moved to her collar. The metal was warm from her skin, the lock small, almost invisible. He had put it on her months ago in the markets of Kurii, a transaction, a purchase, a thing done without thought. Now he touched it with care, as if it were something precious. I could take it off, he said. She looked at him. You could. I will not unless you ask. Her breath caught. I will not ask. He smiled. It was the first time she had seen him smile, really smile, not the thin smile of a warrior, not the cold smile of a torturer. It was the smile of a man who had found something he did not know he was looking for. Then wear it, he said. Wear it because you choose to. Wear it because it is yours, not mine. Wear it because you are free. She reached up, her fingers touching his face, tracing the lines of his jaw, the scar on his cheek, the lips that had spoken her freedom. I am yours, she said. I choose to be yours. He lifted her, carried her to the sleeping firs. She did not resist. She did not yield. She chose. Across the cabin, Sarakan sat in the shadows, his new whip coiled at his hip, his fingers tracing the leather. Lyra knelt beside him, her head bowed, her red hair spilling across her shoulders. She had been his for months, bought in Port Kar, trained in the ways of the slaver's trade. She had served him well. She had served him silently. But in the cavern, when his whip was cut and his blood was hot on her hands, she had done something no slave had ever done. She had chosen him. He looked at her, at the curve of her neck, at the collar that marked her as his. He reached out, his hand touching the metal. It was cool against his fingers. In Port Kar, he said, they would call you a good slave, obedient, well-trained, valuable. She did not lift her head. I am all those things. You are more. His voice was low, rough. You are the woman who threw me a knife. She looked up. Her eyes were blue, deep, the color of the thassa on a clear day. I would throw it again. I know. He pulled her into his lap, his hands on her hips, her back against his chest. She did not resist. She did not need to. She had chosen him in the cavern, and she would choose him again every day for as long as he let her. You will not kneel to me, he said. Not here, not now. Then what will I do? Stand, sit, lie beside me, whatever you choose. She turned in his arms, her face close to his, her breath warm on his skin. I choose to be here. He kissed her. It was not the kiss of a master to his slave. It was the kiss of a man who had been given something he did not deserve and who would spend the rest of his life trying to earn it. She gave it freely. She gave it because she chose. She gave it because she was his and he was hers, and the collar that bound her was no longer a chain. Tarl sat at the viewport watching the stars. He did not look at Kaelor and Sura. He did not look at Sarakan and Lyra. He held the home stone in his hand, its warmth fading now, its pulse slowing, its work done. He thought of his father standing at the window of the tower watching the ship disappear into the mists. He thought of the scrolls in Vraxis's hands, the truth that would wait for the right moment, the web that would tighten when the mother reached too far. He thought of the woman he had loved in Kurii, long ago, before the destruction, before the priest-kings took him and made him their agent. She was gone now. He did not know where she was. He did not know if she was alive. But he knew that she had chosen him once and he had chosen her, and that was the beginning of everything. He would find her. One day, when the work was done, when the web was woven, when he was ready, he wrapped the home stone in silk and put it away. Behind him, Sura laughed, a soft sound like water over stone. Kaelor's voice was low, answering. Sarakan said something that made Lyra smile, her red hair bright against his chest. Tarl did not turn. He did not need to. He was alone, but he was not lonely. He was one of the three blades, and the blades were together. The stars were bright. The way was clear. In the nest, deep beneath the sirdar, the golden light of the main chamber flickered. The mother sat on her throne, her carapace gleaming, her antennae twitching with impatience. Before her, a mole knelt, its pale face expressionless, its hands folded. "They are gone," the mole said. "The silver ship left Kurii at dawn. The archive is empty. The scrolls are taken." The mother's mandibles clicked. And the Earthman, Tarl Cabot. He left with the others. He did not return to the nest. Her antennae snapped straight. He found what was buried, he took it, and he did not bring it to me. The mole did not answer. It did not need to. The mother rose from her throne, her 4 legs clicking against the stone, her form filling the chamber with shadow. He will pay. They will all pay. The web will tighten around them. The Kurii will find them. The steel worlds will hunt them. They will not. She stopped, At the edge of the chamber, in the shadows where the light did not reach, Misk stood. His carapace was scarred from the nest war, his antennae bent, twisted into a shape that his kind had not used in centuries. It was the sign of laughter. The mother's eyes glittered. "You find this amusing?" Misk's mandibles moved slowly, his voice a dry rasp. "I find it fitting. The old mother buried the truth. The new mother sent blades to find it. The blades found it. And the blades chose to give it to Vraxes, not to you. They betrayed me. They chose." Misk's antennae twisted further. "That is what the old mother wanted. That is what she hoped for. That is why she buried the truth where it could be found by the one who would know what to do with it." The mother's claws clicked against the stone. "You knew." "I knew the old mother. I knew her heart. She did not want the truth to stay buried. She wanted it to wait, to grow, to be found when the time was right." He tilted his head, his faceted eyes catching the light. "The time is right." The mother turned away, her form fading into the shadows. "The web will tighten. They will be found. They will be crushed." She was gone. Misk stood in the silence, his antennae still twisted, the laughter fading from his form. He thought of Tarl Cabot, the Earthman who had fought beside him in the Nest War, who had carried the mother's egg across the plains, who had been cast out and survived. He thought of the scrolls in Vraxes' hands, the truth that would wait for the right moment. He thought of the silver ship sailing into the unknown, carrying 3 blades, 2 women, and the home stone of a village that no longer existed. He clicked his mandibles softly, the sound echoing off the walls. "The balance holds," he whispered, "for now." Then he too was gone, the end. But the story is not over. It is only beginning. In the jungles of Schendi, the Kurii are building something new. On the plains of the Wagon Peoples, a warrior waits for Kaelor to return. In the streets of Port Kar, Sarakan's name is whispered in the dark. And in the nest, Vraxes unrolls the scrolls, reading the words the old mother wrote, waiting for the moment when the web will tighten. The 3 blades will find their work. They will find their paths. They will find their enemies. And one day they will return to Kurii, to the father who waits, to the city that was destroyed and rebuilt, to the home stone that still pulses with warmth. But that is another story. For now, the silver ship rises through the clouds. Their missions are waiting.